And finally, I'll ask Sherm Miller to help us recognize this year's Distinguished Alumni Lifetime Service Award. Sherm is the Executive Director of the CU Real Estate Center, and he has worked closely with this year's recipient, Bill Reynolds, through Bill's active role on the Real Estate Board of Governors. Sherm.
Well, as I'm not a buff, but I can tell you, you didn't have to go to CU to get hammered for the first time in college. I went to the Harvard of the Southwest, which would be the University of Arizona. No, not the Scum Devils. Those are that's a whole different game. Well, we're here to recognize. I'm here to recognize Bill Reynolds, and anyone who's spent time in Boulder recognizes the Reynolds name. They have over 3 million square feet, which is a large portfolio of properties under management. And he and his company are really responsible for the way Boulder looks today. As a developer and Boulder advocate, Bill has made a lasting impression on the city of Boulder and its surroundings. After graduating from CU's B School in 1960, which I think makes it older than our skiing group, Bill went to the Navy and then started the Reynolds Company in 1966. And whether it was plumbing warehouses, storefronts, startup offices for startup businesses, he's enabled and encouraged enormous economic growth and has touched many lives in this community. While he's not haggling over real estate deals, which is one of the joys of our business, Bill has been an active volunteer, and I could go on and on, but the Boulder Chamber, the YMCA, the Community Hospital, NAIOP, which is a very large real estate organization, CU's Center for the American West, and of course the CU Real Estate Center. And those are just some of the things that Bill has contributed back to this community. When I think of Bill, of course, though, I think of the CU Real Estate Center and the intangible impact he's had on so many young people's lives over the years. He's been a leading force in establishing the Real Estate Center, and I don't know, without his drive and his philanthropy over 20 years ago, if we'd even have a real estate program here at the Leeds School. He was a driving force. I got to really know Bill when I was the chair of the Real Estate Center. I hadn't taken the staff position yet, and we had our first Board of Governors meeting, which is a big deal, and I was all set for it. I suited up for it, and I was ready to go, and you know, it's getting time, it's getting closer, the dean hadn't shown up, and all of a sudden a guy comes in with his bicycle, bike shorts, his helmet, and I go, oh, this is Bill Reynolds. This is gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. And so Bill has really driven our organization, and it's been a joy to work with him. Bill is never disappointed. His passion for our students comes through. He hires our students. He mentors our students. He's helped mentor our program, and he's someone that we really rely on to keep pushing us to that next level. So it's a great honor for me to present the for his lifetime of support and philanthropy to the Leeds School of Business, an exceptional achievement in the business community. It's my honor to welcome Bill to the stage to receive the Leeds Distinguished Alumni Service Lifetime Award.
Thanks so much. And Tandine, I have to tell you that I owned Tulagi's once. But you didn't drink enough beer because it went down the tubes. Well, here I know Greg was saying he was told 2 minutes, and I didn't have it on my bio, but I'm a little dyslexic, and I thought it was 20 minutes. What the hell am I going to do with this now? So. Now, Sherm, I have to give you a secret. Sherman isn't here anymore, is he? But I've been sucking up a lot to him. He's got the best damn trout stream within 40 minutes here, and God, is he still here? Yeah, I've been sucking up good. Well, anyhow, I did learn one thing at CU, and that was infrastructure, and I couldn't do what I do and what I'm able to do without the infrastructure. I'll start here. I have a couple of my associates here, Jeff Wingert and his wife, John Shaw and his wife. Certainly have many others in my office that help me accomplish what we've been able to do. I'm fortunate to have my family here to share this evening with us, my daughter and her husband, my son Forrest and his wife, and my son John and his partner. And then we have Woody and Leslie Eaton, big donors to CU. And the reason I'm in a suit tonight is my dear wife. She doesn't think I have very good taste in clothes. I'd much rather be dressed like Billy Kid, for Christ's sakes, but I still want to go home, and anyhow, so. Well, I just have a couple of things to say. I saw Mark Kisler. Mark Kisler, sports writer for the Denver Post, and he wrote something about Peyton Manning that got me interested. He says, "This is the guy who would be selected last on the playground for a pickup game." Peyton Manning, and they were talking about his athletic ability, and one of his teammates, Chris Harris, said his arm is very athletic. Well, I think the article says Manning's greatness is armed with intangibles. And I'll bet, Bill, you could talk about some guys that on the team that maybe had better athletic ability, but it was those intangibles that really brought them to the forefront. So I got quite a kick out of that here. I was able, and I have to say our dean invited me to speak to, 30 leadership students? And these were freshmen, and I thought, gosh, our dean is reaching out and talking to these freshmen and inviting some old fart in his bike clothes to come talk to them. So anyhow, we learned from everybody. And unfortunately at CU, I majored more in beer and girls than I did if you read my bio, I graduated without distinction. We have all these great minds around here, and I know those kids are gonna set the world afire, certainly. I just got back from New York City here today, and I was at the Urban Land Institute meeting, and Walter Isaacson spoke here about technology. Walter Isaacson, as many of you might know, he wrote the biography of Steve Jobs. He was president of CNN, and he has a great bio. He now resides, I think, in Aspen, Bill, in the Aspen Institute. But he was talking about the future and about technology, and he said something that I thought I should talk about tonight, and that is that because he was so familiar with Steve Jobs and how we're going to change and how our education system is changing, our world is changing. And he talked about the sciences and the humanities, and he put his arms up like this. And at the center is where it's coming together, and the center is where I think business is. And I think that's why it's so important that our school dean and those young students that I met with are really going to change our world. He talked a lot about diversity, and he talked about how Steve Jobs came together with all these different facets, and it was crammed all together. So it out of that science and that humanities comes some great business that I think is going to continue to change our world for the better. I hope you have some more. I hope you got some more screwballs like me coming. Anyhow, I'd like to. The other thing he talked about was challenging authority, and doggone it, we need these young kids to challenge us. So anyhow, I'd like to close with some of you may have heard of Eric Hoffer. Eric Hoffer was a longshoreman and a great philosopher. I've used this quote before, but one of his favorite is, "In times of rapid change, the learners shall inherit the world, while the knowers shall be beautifully equipped to deal with a world that no longer exists." So anyhow, I'm so honored that you would recognize me in such a distinguished crowd, and I'm so proud to accept this award from the university. Thank you.